Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Today, we are talking about AEW Dynamite that just went off the air about 7 minutes ago. The go-home show to All Out this Saturday at 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock if you count the buy-in pre-show match. So we got quite a bit of stuff to talk about tonight. John, overall thoughts of the show?
Needless to say, it wasn't a complete home run. There were definitely some downs, more specifically with that battle royal.
Yes.
But I will say though, a lot of pretty good mic work here. I felt the most important matches I felt were pretty good. But yeah, we're going to be talking about some of the like issues that are still happening with this company. But so yeah.
Yeah, I was worried when they announced a card from last week, the go home potential of this. I didn't think this was the best go home show overall. Like you said, there are some good high points on this show. Some stuff I really like, and some stuff that I did not. And I think we're in agreement, from what I can tell from Twitter and us texting back and forth, that I think we're in agreement on pretty much most of the same stuff. I think, from what I can tell, at least the main sticking points. I think that's fair to say. So yeah, let's just get into it. We opened the show with Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, but this was weird how it started. First of all, probably for the first 5 or so minutes, the match didn't even.
I was almost fine with that, because when it was still like, I was okay. If even though the story is not the best story, I think just the intensity was there. Which in the beginning I was thinking, okay, this is not bad. Then I got to the point when, if you remember, I forget who, either Santana or Ortiz, they Irish ripped Chuck Taylor into the barricades, but they were like way too far, so he kind of like power walked into it.
Yeah,
it was just like, okay.
Yeah,
and Tony's trying to sell like, oh, he went in there hard. I went,
yeah, and like another thing that probably I haven't really focused on is how much better Trent is than Chuck is. Like, just with his positioning, with how he throws in his offense, and on the other side with Santana compared to Ortiz, it's like, good grief, is there such a big glaring difference?
Yeah, there's
it just, I mean, like, it's so obvious and it sucks, but like, it just, man, this match, I found myself hard getting into this. It just comes off just so damn cartoony to me when it's with these two teams, and on top of that, these two teams are feuding over bashing a freaking Honda minivan. It's just, you're going to find it really hard to get excited about that. But as for the match itself, it was okay. Santana and Ortiz finally win. Only took about 10,000 years, but they finally win. But man, there was a very awkward sequence at the end there, where pretty much he definitely counted 3, and Santana, he was late. Getting there with the with putting putting Ortiz's arm on the bottom rope there. So
Foot
that
or
was
foot or something.
yeah, yeah. So that was
Um,
kind of weird there.
yeah, it was definitely because I thought when I first saw it, because I didn't see it as it was happening, so like right at like two, 3, and I'm thinking they won,
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw the foot and they stopped. I was like, wait, oh god. The other thing I think in the beginning was Chuck was building the structure of chairs.
Yeah,
Just
and while
ignoring the fact that
yeah, that his
Trent
tag partner is getting his ass kicked like literally while he's setting that up, but yeah, so
and he goes through it, and Trent's just kind of looking on the other side, like, oh, okay,
I'm just
screw you.
happy. I'm just happy that they did not put this match on the card.
Yes.
I just had zero desire to see this match, but
If
if
anything,
they
this
would,
was a buy-in.
which I would have been perfectly fine with.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah.
they got it done. Over with. Next, I didn't scroll down. We get backstage with MJF. I thought this was great. Wardlow kicks down the door and brings Mark Sterling out, and just gets in the face and just cuts a promo on it on Sterling.
I have loved every single one
Yeah.
of these entourages skits here.
Yeah, consistently. I keep saying it over and over again. Consistently, the best parts of the show.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah, like it just into like Lee Johnson, he is really growing on me there. So like I'm hoping at some point that we get some sort of a like side feud with him and MJF, because you could just tell he just despises MJF so bad, but like he's trying his absolute best not to piss him off or anything. So
Yep.
so that was good, but man, wherever that they found this guy, this lawyer, I mean, it's been really entertaining. I did feel, and we'll get into this later, in the main event, that it was kind of awkward, with that match, but we'll get into that.
I found
Once
his
that
Twitter.
comes
I
up
found
there.
his actual Twitter account.
Mhm.
Lawyer, podcaster, editor, filmmaker, and producer.
Mhm.
But what loses me, it says Boston is the best city in the world. So,
Well, look him. He sucks.
I'm a genius. Period. He's but yeah, he says he's in Long Island, New York. That's ironic. Anyways, after that we get the Young Bucks, the more serious Young Bucks in Jurassic Express versus Private Party and SCU. The winners you get to face each other at
Right.
All
Yeah.
Out,
And
I'll get
all
that.
out. Yeah. Which this made it pretty predictable here.
Yes,
But
you're gonna have to Young
right.
Bucks not be on the show.
But I will say though, I was very intrigued by the Bucks. So like they were noticeably had a lot more of an edge to them. As we saw on the outside of the ring, with that hangman beer and the fan there, you could tell like he just
he
any
whipped, he
yeah,
whipped ripping that sign up. I was like,
yeah, I was like
funny.
I like that. And two, even just interacting with the with the Jurassic Express, there was a more of an arrogance to them, and it comes off so much more real and so much more natural to me. I'm not sure if you completely agree
No, they
with
were
that there,
taking
but
it seemed more serious than
yeah,
yeah. and stuff. I liked it. But what one thing I got to talk about, and or two things before I get into the semi rant. Obviously we're in a pandemic. I wish there was more people in the crowd, because at least during this, comparatively, the crowd just sounded dead. That's like just overall.
That was a consistent theme all night. I felt like
I don't know if they were too far away.
I'm not sure. But
It just, at some points, even like during the women's match later, it kind of was
dead,
silent. Not even the people at ringside were doing anything. It was just weird. But anyways, referee Knox here. Is it Mark Knox, Mike Knox, Rick Knox?
Rick Knox. He sucks.
That's why. Sucks. Okay, let me tell you. I purposely, at least for the half of this match, right? And I was trying to keep tabs on the match, but I was just watching him, right? Because I really wanted to see. He would never count when there was more than one people in the tag team in. He was just kind of just like, hey, no, get away. Like, you should be counting one to like enforce it. He looks like he has no idea what he's doing. He kind of just looks lost.
We need Kyoto.
Yeah, what the hell was he at? Sign him.
We need Kyoto here. Like, that is one of the criticisms with this company, is just the horrible referees who just either don't know what the psychology of some of these matches are, two, they don't know what the actual rules are of the matches. Like, it's a consistent thing every single week.
I think I have a theory, a mathematical statement here, that the competency of the ref is proportional. There we go, to the length of the hair of the ref. Arbery, you can say, is the best, longest hair. The worst ones are the bald ones, no hair.
Yeah, it's just
and there was another spot that really stuck out to me, is when you focus on it and look at it, it doesn't make any sense. You focus on the match, you probably missed it.
Right.
But when somebody from Private Party tried to get into the ring, Mike Knox is stopping him, but he's clearly he's kind of facing their corner, and it's clearly obvious that SCU is getting in the ring and fighting, and member of Private Party's like, talking with the ref, and he's distracted, and stuff is happening. At one point, Rick Knox is basically looking in the middle of the ring. His body is like facing the ring, but he's making sure his head is to think. And I'm like, oh no,
yeah.
Why are you turning? Why are you turning?
Just
the positioning was off. Like, how can you not, like, if this was legit, how in your peripheral vision not see there's crap going on to your right? Like, stuff like stuff like that. When I actually paid attention, I'm like, oh my god! But that was he's not the best. I'm sorry. And apparently, people on Twitter agreed, because at least the one that's like the most interactive tweet of my tweets I tweeted tonight got. So a lot of people agree. So.
Yeah, it's just it's stuff like that just makes stuff. Yeah, it's stuff like that just makes the company look completely second rate that way, and it's something that someone in that company, and I know guys such as like Jericho, he has brought up in the past of them just like of like how some of the actual wrestlers just completely bury the refs
and sometimes even the announcers say stuff in a way that they know but they can't fully say it. Like JR a lot of the time. I think he even said it during this match, definitely during the women's match, and we'll get to that,
which was hilarious.
Like Barry, I'm sitting there. Goes, you know, he wants to say something, but he can't. But he
Yeah.
has to say it in a way that seems
Pretty
legit.
obvious. It's pretty obvious what he's saying, but like he's
Yeah,
like,
but he has a
but
way
he's
of
not.
saying it.
Yeah, yeah,
Any,
yeah.
anyways, anyways, we get um backstage. Hager goes to find Orange Cassidy, sits next to him. Tells him Jericho wants him ringside against his match. Uh, Cassidy puts his foot over Hager's leg. Hager smacks it away and says it should be smart of him to be there, and he leaves. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
that's the thing.
like any sort of promo build or anything with this feud, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this thing to finally be over. This is the final week that we have to deal with this shit.
We hope.
No, if this is on it, I don't know what else that they can possibly do.
Yeah,
Like
right. It should be it, but I hope to God.
It's just I have been a broken freaking record for the last 3 or 4 weeks. This thing is overexposed to hell. They have made Orange Cassidy a fun Cole like mid-card act that is now trying to convince me that he's going to be a main event guy, which is horseshit. No, like,
Yeah,
and two, I was a fan of the character, but now it's just like I just want him and Jericho to just go their separate ways. Like this, man, I will be very happy once Saturday comes because above anything else, we will get no more Orange Cassidy in Jericho segments, matches, etc. So thank God.
then we get a another backstage with Tully Blanchard with FTR. I thought this was excellent. Talking about winning the Gauntlet match was the first goal, but Saturday is the big reason. Wheeler caused the match the most important of their careers. Nothing matters if they don't get the title. And Hartwood said Megan Page will feel fear the revelation on Saturday.
I tell you, man, outside of MJF and like Moxley, this is probably the match I am looking forward to. Just there's so many
matches, yes.
Just the whole storyline with Kenny being like, manipulated by FTR and being so conflicted with Kenny, and I loved at the very end where Hangman is like I'm handing Kenny his like tag team title, and like he is on the outside there. I felt that was a really good, a very nice touch there, and it just makes you wonder where they are actually going, because Matt, I don't have the slightest clue where they are actually going, and that's the very intriguing part of this whole thing. Because I don't know if like Hangman is just conflicted or if he's just completely drunk. So
Both.
I mean, so it's going to be very interesting how they execute this, because turning heel, because I did watch being the elite this week, and at the very end there, they were completely teasing him, Kenny returning to his cleaner persona, over in New Japan there. So as for the match itself, it's going to be it might be possibly I would not be surprised if this tops them versus versus Matt and like Nick from Double or Nothing. I'm really excited about this match here.
This was the promo of FTR was I enjoyed this. I think this was the highlight of this segment.
Yep.
Just it was good. I really enjoyed this segment. One of the highlights for me on this show. Great. Then we have Alex Marvez backstage after talking with Jericho.
Yeah,
Jericho's really,
yeah.
You kind of went over it.
Yeah.
Really, he's putting over Orange Cassidy, but then he says he's not on the same level. All that talk. I wrote down Jericho made Orange Cassidy a main event star, and I went thanks. And then saying for Joey Janela, or JR says Jelly Janela. That was funny. Pretty much Jericho says he's going to show Cassidy what he has in store. So that segues into the match. Whoever let Joey Janela walk out with that haircut, she was not.
I will say that the only good thing about this was outside of like JR calling him Jelly, which was hilarious. Was basically Jericho just beating him to a bloody pulp. So at least they did that right.
Yeah. You know what's funny here? It says, because I use the Wrestling Inc. results because
right.
I like the website. It's funny. I'm going to read this, right? Right, the last sentence and what the winner and when it says for the winner, right? I don't know how you missed this. Okay. Janela sent out to the ramp for a moment. He tries to springboard back in, and Jericho hits a mid-air code breaker. He then locks in the walls of Jericho for the fairly quick win. Winner, Joey Janela via pinfall.
Holy Raj, what's going on?
Look, wait. I got to show this. Look, winner, Joey Janela via pinfall.
What the hell happened there, Raj? Damn it.
Raj didn't write it. I know Raj didn't write it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just that's freaking hilarious.
If you saw me, I went, what? What was I gonna say?
And then after like he wins, we see these small brawl between Orange Cassidy, Hager, and Jericho, and
before that, I want to say.
Yeah.
There's another small thing that I noticed to me didn't make sense. If Orange Cassidy is sitting ringside or just by ringside, when Jericho's trash talking Orange Cassidy, there's 2 points I remember like beating up. The one that's sticking out is when he has the blood on the shirt.
Right.
Which nice touch, but he's saying this is you, Orange Cassidy, but he's talking to the camera. If he turns to the left, you can, or whatever, he can just say it to Orange Cassidy's face. He doesn't have to yell it in the camera. I noticed, I was like, that makes no sense to me. If he's right there, if he's backstage, okay, it's fine. But he's literally Jericho to your left. You can yell at him, and then that can force Orange Cassidy to get in and start the fight. It was like that little thing I noticed that was it didn't make sense to me. And then Sonny Kiss.
With that, why did Sonny Kiss come out when when Orange Cassidy came in the ring, but didn't come to Joey Janela's defense when Jericho was beating him to a bloody
time to break up another tag team.
That was weird. So
I didn't realize that until somebody else said it, because I would have never have noticed it, but there you go.
Yeah, I did that just didn't make a ton of sense right there.
Then after that, we see the recap of the Hardy Sammy Guevara feud, and then it says they meet, advertise their Broken Rules match at All Out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume it's just like anything goes, but with Broken Matt
Yeah,
Hardy.
it's basically
It's like an Extreme Rules match, but
a like a last man standing match essentially.
is it?
Yeah, it's basically a last man standings match.
Did they explain that?
Yeah, they
I
posted
totally
some
know.
of the rules. I forget what they were, but basically,
It'd be nice to put that on TV.
Yeah, and from the stipulation is if like Matt loses, he has to leave AEW. So
Which I don't buy that.
Which I mean, like, I don't think that they're going to have Sammy lose here. So
Yeah, true.
I'm going to assume that probably Hardy is going away for a little bit here. Yeah.
Okay. If he fights as Matt Hardy,
right?
Does that mean
Matt
Hardy loses, but Broken Matt Hardy's still here?
Yeah,
something like that. They're gonna do.
It might be. I could see them doing that. Because this could
makes no sense if he actually like goes away for a while, unless something we don't know in the background.
This could be a way of killing that persona.
True.
Of him, so I could see them.
I see that.
Yeah,
that little thing there.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, I don't care about just strictly Matt Hardy. Like, everyone wants to see him as his broken incarnation. Like, that has proven to be what people want to actually see. So I'm perfectly fine with that there.
And then after that package, Sammy comes out with his cue cards. They cut away, and then Hardy's up above, like on the stage, with his own cue card saying "broken," and they yell at each other, and that was it.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Then we get the tale of two segments here. We have Taz, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks come out. Taz cuts a promo, excellent as always. It gets quickly interrupted by Jake Roberts and Lance Archer, with Jake Roberts calling them a bunch of nuts, and that they're not gonna bust a nut when they're in the ring with him. And I just kind of went, Jake, you rephrase that funny. I don't know how nobody in the ring, nobody lost their mind. I would have cracked.
Like
not that. He should have said, here we go. He should have said crack, not bust a nut, crack a nut.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to have your head in the freaking gutter at that point there,
No, how can you not?
It's just
you're not going to be able to bust a nut when you're in the ring with us, or whatever the hell he said.
Right.
They didn't write that in here. Christ, that would have been hilarious. He's the best set. That also said best set of losers he ever seen. His promos have not been the best lately.
Yeah,
he says the most random stuff.
Like the last 2 weeks, like when he first came in, he was awesome.
Yeah,
with Archer. But man, like these last 2 weeks, they haven't been great. But
last week was, I'm going to pluck you, and you, and on this week I'm busting nut.
But I tell you, Taz, he just brings out that just intensity, that fire that I just love. And two, now Eddie Kingston comes out, which who would have thought, man, in 2020 that we would be seeing a segment between Taz, Jake Roberts, and Eddie Kingston. Like that's 2020 for you right there. But it was going good. Which they were cutting some pretty good promos,
Yes.
just building up. That's
Yes.
fine. And then the freaking horse shit started.
Everybody starts fighting. I was like, okay. And then Sean Spears and Tully Blanchard just stroll around. Darby Allin comes out. I looked up Billy Gunn's randomly in there,
right,
and everybody's in there. And now, they basically had the battle royal. Yeah. Nothing was happening. It was the most organized chaos ever. And they took this to picture in picture.
And then after that, they just randomly just ended it. Like just did a quick cut to
the fantastic video package of the Dark Order and Nightmare Family.
Right.
And then they come back and magically everybody's gone.
Yeah, it just that was really just contrived. It just wasn't good. I don't understand why they were just randomly fighting for no reason when the match isn't
it was but there was no urgency. Like if there was a brawl and people just spilled out everywhere, and it was like they went, "It's chaos. We gotta stop it." I am perfectly fine with that, but it was shot like a battle royal.
Well, and to Matt, they did not have any security or anyone come down and try to freaking break it up on top of that. I'm like,
it was calm.
It was very, very, very weird and easily to me the worst thing on the show tonight. But
yes, pretty much.
So
it was worse than when WWE does the inevitable and go home
to Royal Rumble. I freaking hate that every single year too. So and just because
I don't think they did this last year,
which was probably one of the first times that they haven't done that.
Definitely it wasn't on Raw. I remember. I vividly remembering that.
It was just really unnecessary to say the least. But then we moved on to, as you said, Matt, with that beautiful video package for the 8-man tag set up for All Out between the Dark Order and for the Nightmare Family. What were your thoughts on
I honestly didn't have 100% focused on that because I was trying to compose a tweet for what we saw. But from what I did see, when I was hearing, I thought it was good. It kind of makes me more interested in the match, like a little bit, like
Cardona and like Dustin Rhodes. Just when they are serious, I am immediately listening. It's I think it's a good way to basically prolong with the feud with Cody and Brody Lee, while at the same time we're seeing guys such as Scorpio Sky, and Matt Cardona. And to me, Scorpio is someone I want to see them using more of. To me, he should have won against Cody a few weeks ago. I feel like that was probably the time, but I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm kind of hoping that this actually opens up on the main card on Saturday here. So yeah, we shall see how that goes. And then Matt, it was very refreshing to say this, but goddamn Thunder Rosa is fucking good. Like
And
just 2 minutes into that match, I'm like, compared to the freaking horse shit that we saw from the previous week, with with like Big Swole and Rebel, this had made me completely forget the freaking garbage that had happened with Battle Royal there. So,
Yep.
what'd you think here, man?
Probably one of their better women's matches. I can, yes, easily see. Sereno is another good one. I'm glad they had Thunder Rosa fight her, wrestle her. I think this is my first time actually seeing Thunder Rosa in a match. Let me find this. I thought this was good. I feel like this was a match you would see in the WWE's women's division. And we praise that most of the time, especially NXT. I thought this was good. Again, another instance which I say I wish there was more of a crowd because it's dead.
And like I tell you, man, just some Thunder Rosa. She is a complete package. She could talk, she could work. She has a freaking presence to herself. Her offense looks completely smooth and like crisp and strong. She wasn't rushing herself and trying to like do 10,000 things here. It really came together really well. And I tweeted out, I was like, if you are Tony Khan, you need to find whatever means to sign to sign Thunder Rosa. Like, to me, she offers everything that you absolutely need to be a face of this women's division here, in my opinion here, Matt.
Yep. Yeah, definitely should sign her
ASAP.
Yeah.
ASAP.
We go.
Oh, and did you hear too? On commentary, freaking JR, man, he was just essentially burying AEW's women's.
He's like, I might get in trouble.
Yeah, it just like you were like, I mean, we're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's like, we can't even be really mad just because, especially after you saw from the previous week between Rebel and Big Swole, it was just like, it was like, as like Jim Cornette would say, a professional wrestling match came out of a outlaw out of an outlaw mud show.
Yep. Then I believe we get Tony Schiavone interviewing Big Swole ringside. I wrote here jokingly, she said, I'll see you at your job or something. And I'm like, I hope, or you're gonna get fired. I don't know what that line was, but then Rebby or whatever the hell comes up dressed as a pizza delivery woman with pizza for Tony. Swole's like, oh, I know where this is, and then this is where this is going. But Britt comes and hits her in the back with the crutch, and
this was probably the first time in about 4 months that we've seen her actually moving around. So I'm glad to see that she's back now. But man, this whole thing with her and Big Swole is just so it's so damn hokey.
Yeah.
Like it's just man.
They wasted good pizza, damn it.
It's just I mean, like I mean at the very start I was enjoying what they were doing with her in Big Swole, but now it's
Yeah.
just like
They kind of like ran out of, they hit a
yeah.
wall.
Mhm.
And what is exactly a tooth and nail match?
Your guess is as
Because I
good as
saw that I
mine.
went, I totally missed what this what this is. They didn't explain this. They didn't explain what a broken roll-out. I don't know.
And no, I'm like like they did. I mean, like I mean, I am happy that this is just going to be all on the buy-in show.
Yeah.
Like, thank God,
I
because this should not be on the main card.
no
For all out here.
comparative to the women's match. I hope this match is the first person to either break a tooth or break a nail loses. If Britt breaks,
It will not.
tooth,
It will not shock me.
If Swole breaks a nail, she loses. If Britt breaks a tooth or loses a tooth, she loses.
Right.
Yeah. Here's a comment here. Chat. Older wrestlers had cool characters and swag that audience wanted to root for nowadays. Nowadays, wrestler characters, how good high flying they can do. No real character development, to be very honest.
He's not completely wrong.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean,
he's not completely wrong about
there's
that.
a mix of that. Like, what's a good example? If you had a match, okay. If you have let's say, if you take NXT, like the Finn Balor Timothy Thatcher match, that was more ground and pound, old school, like actual like wrestling, compared to, let's say, Young Bucks and
Private Party.
Yeah. If I tend to notice people maybe around our age, around our generation, tend to get bored with a Finn Balor Timothy Thatcher because there's no craziness compared to people
I
just
think
flying.
Well, I think it's too also, Matt. People's attention spans are definitely shorter. I think that's partially why, but I just think along with that as well, it's just a lot of impatience and just letting with the actual story to breathe and just let it build up. But unfortunately, that's kind of how is there.
Yeah, and I think another side effect is that I don't say lost art. That's maybe too strong, but we don't see enough of is and when you see it in the ring, it's magical, but more of in-depth storytelling and matches, especially the big ones.
Yeah.
If like one just off the top of my head, I just remember like Dominic and Seth at SummerSlam. Yeah, which that had good storytelling in the just if you just look strictly in the match, it got you more invested than usual. It's like stuff like that. I think more so today. I think that's another issue, but that point's well taken there. But let's get into the main event. We had John Moxley versus MGF's lawyer, Mark Sterling, coming out. I believe they said like a tribute to like Andy Kaufman's wrestling gear.
Yep. I really appreciate that there from him.
Or the poor man's Captain America.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I thought I was okay with how it was. I kind of enjoyed it because of what happened after, which I knew what would happen. MJF was going to come out I knew he was going to get. He wasn't actually that hurt. He takes the
Right.
neck brace off, tosses the cane or whatever wheel thing off, and just beats the holy hell out of John Moxley. Busts him open with the ring, and just just screaming, just intense. I thought that last part of this was excellent.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing a side of MJF that we don't see all too often. He doesn't really lose control like that, and like you could just tell he's ready to basically come and fight and fight John. So the overall build has been really damn good. Uh, with the promo work, even with things such as the comedy involved, I felt has come off
Yeah,
pretty well here.
to me, to me, it's not too comical that it's
No.
like too like it's pretty good for me. It's not hokey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go off the air with MGF holding the title over Moxley, bloodied and battered, and so that was a good visual going off the air. So mixed bag of AEW tonight, to say the least.
Yeah. So do you want to give our
Sure.
predictions then for all of them?
Yeah. So we have, let's work our way up the pre-show match, the buy-in match, Britt Baker versus Brick Swole in a match of some stipulation that I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with our role model from Pittsburgh, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just, to me, outside of Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida, she is the most important woman in the AEW women's division here. I don't see any point in having her lose here. And to be perfectly honest, I just really have not been very impressed with like Pig Swole. I feel like she definitely has some things that they can definitely use, but her inconsistency from an in-ring standpoint, I think is something that it's kind of hard to ignore right now, and just her and just with the whole storyline, I don't feel has exactly helped her in this instance. But at the same time too, kind of how you said earlier, they just hit a freaking wall in a building to this, like the last month or so. It was just it was rough, and that's being kind about it.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins here?
To me, it would make sense for Britt. Why would she lose her first match back? It kind of would, like, just, it wouldn't, to me, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, she's your star. Like, definitely, like, she needs to get her heat back and get back in the ring. Yeah. So after that, we have what we have here: the Casino Battle Royal. Winner gets a future AEW Championship match. So what they have here, we have Darby, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, The Butcher, The Blade, Eddie Kingston, Sean Spears, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz, Chuck Taylor, and Trent. At least I think that's all that was in there so far.
I definitely think that we are getting a surprise return or something. Would
Yeah,
not be surprised at all if like a Pac came back here. Um, I think it would be a good way to possibly bring him back, and kind of thrust him into that title picture there.
because I don't think anybody in this list makes sense to win either because
The
there's still
only
feuds going on in between all of this.
Mhm.
Okay,
Well,
I would say Darby, but he's probably going with Ricky against Ricky because they've been feuding that and Brian Cage.
and two, we're going under the assumption that MGF is going to become champion. So you're thinking, okay, baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
It just,
And
I
there's
mean,
none.
like, no. To me, if I had to pick, regardless of heel or baby face, probably lean towards Archer.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because
but that's just
it's so in which I if I had to pick, it would be him. But I think
I think it's
I think
nobody in this
yeah,
on that list.
yeah. I think it's going to be a
Yeah,
surprise return or a debut or something. Who's going to
I
win here?
I feel like the return is better. I like the pack, whatever.
Paul.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I just the promos between him and we assume MJF um would be great. Then we got Dark Order versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and Rhodes and Marshall. 8-man tag match.
Yeah. Who do you got here, Matt?
Since Brody Lee is in this match,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Dark Order
Mm-hmm.
because if you're putting Brody Lee over strong against Cody,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this win helps, right?
Yeah, and also I think too, I would not be surprised um, if Cody returned at the very end of the match, kind of just to get some heat back here.
Yeah.
So that would not surprise me, but I do think that they should put over the like Dark Order.
Yes.
I mean, I would expect someone such as like Dustin to possibly eat this pin. I just hope that they don't pin Scorpio or Cardona here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even QT Marshall can do it, either Dustin or QT.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
I would prefer QT, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think if you know my rant from last week,
Yeah.
but if you want to put over the Dark Order, like as a credible threat, they get the win. Or they get the win here. I think that's the way to go. And Brody Lee maybe gets the pinfall over QT or Dustin. Because Dustin can eat because that really doesn't hurt him.
No.
Yeah, Dark Order shouldn't lose, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Then we get the women's world championship match: Kirishita versus Thunder Rosa.
This could very well be AEW's best women's match to date. There it's absolutely there. I don't think that they put the title onto Thunder Rosa, but I do think that there is some sort of a working relationship between AEW and the NWA right now. So I would not be against it at all, but I just find it hardly because I believe this is only Sheeta's second or third time of her actually defending her title. So I think it's kind of too soon for her to actually to drop her title here. But man, this is probably is the most excited I have been for a like women's title match ever. Even going back to at the very start. So but I'm gonna go with Sheeta here, Matt. How about you?
I can this to me, I'm thinking I'd maybe go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're bringing in what's making it difficult for me. If Thunder Rosa came in, she didn't have a title, I would 100% be with Sheeta, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But since Thunder Rosa is a champion from outside
Yeah.
NWA,
Mm-hmm.
would the NWA want her to lose? But do you want Sheeta to lose?
Right. I could even see them going to. I could even see them going to a possible draw here.
True. Yes.
I could see that. Um, but
Because no,
at
if they both look good and nobody loses,
but
nobody's
at the
losing
same
the
time,
title.
too, though, if you're Tone and Con, you want to possibly drag this out as long as possible, just because of the current landscape of their other women's division right now. It's like not that good. So um yeah, but we shall see. You know.
Um, you want just to be different. I'm gonna say I'll say Thunder Rosa, the shock and all double champion.
Right.
Because to me, like Sheeta, and that's what the problem with the women's division. To me, has not really done
Mhm.
much. Like she's
Yeah.
there, but it's almost an afterthought at this point. Um, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
this match could turn it around. Um, yeah, so I'll go with Thunder Rosa. You get the kind of two belts there.
Mhm.
But like to me, this is the one that goes 50-50 in my eyes.
Yeah.
We get the tag team championship, Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus FTR. Um, I would be shocked if we don't see new champions.
Yeah, this I feel is completely geared towards FTR winning here.
Yep.
I have no idea what's going to happen as far as possible heel turns here because, quite frankly, they could go in a whole bunch of different directions here. Um, I, it's going to be very, very interesting to see just how Hangman and Kenny interact with each other because just based off of how the show ended, I mean, pretty clear that they are not on the same page. But yeah, I'm going with FTR. This has potential to be tag team match of the year, in my opinion. Just everything is set up for this to be a really damn good match. This could very well top Kenny and Hangman versus Matt and like Nick Jackson. And as I said earlier, outside of a Moxley and MJF, this is by far the absolute top match I am looking forward to on this card here.
Yep. We get the next we have here is Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in the Mimosa Mayhem match. Winner
Mm.
can only win by pinfall submission or throwing your opponent into a take of mimosas or big mimosa.
Um, the winner is going to be us as soon as this is freaking over. But if I had to pick, um, I feel like that this is geared towards Orange Cassidy winning here.
Yep.
I just I'm just ready for this thing to just be over. I just hope that it's not completely stupid and erratic, but
Oh, my friend.
more than likely
My
that's
friend.
Yeah, it, it's definitely is going to be a very pulverizing match. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who will love this, but there's also going to be a lot of people who are going to really hate this too. So, I'm expecting something somewhere from an actual reaction compared with the Stadium Stampede match from All Out there. So, yeah.
I'll go with
Or from Double
yeah.
or Nothing there. Yeah.
I'll go with the orange.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, then we get the main event: Moxley versus MJF for the AEW Championship. Moxley is banned from using the paradigm shift DDT.
Yeah, I feel like that this is all geared towards MJF winning here. But at the same time, too, I could also see them keeping the title onto Moxley because there are some other possible big time matches down down the line. But I mean, I just feel like if you're really that serious about MJF becoming a big singles guy, a like homegrown guy, who I mean, it just it's I don't think you can pass up this
No.
opportunity. I think you pull the trigger and just let MJF just run with the title until who knows when, you know.
I'm afraid, and I don't know if I can't remember if AEW goes strictly this booking, but if you're going with the person holding the title at the end, the go home show loses during the pay per view, which I don't want. Like, I hope that's not the case, and because if you're going to pull the trigger on MJF, I think you do it now.
Yep.
Absolutely. Why you got some fans? Why delay it? He's working the best.
Yeah.
He can. Yeah.
Not to mention,
He's great. Yeah.
and not to mention as well, there's so many baby faces who he can work with. It makes way too much sense to put the title onto him. I don't think that they should really make this all that difficult. He has not lost a singles match, hasn't been pinned or anything since he signed. It would be very WWE ish for them to basically go all the way to the very tip, but not have him go over a top here. So I I think we see a like brand new champion, and we see MJF's prophecy becoming a like reality here. Um,
Another comment here. How can they improve their viewership to get 2 to 3 million per week, according to you? I don't even know if it's good, better. I don't know if they would get the 2 to 3. I don't even see that possible.
It's going to take so much time, and like people are just automatically assume just because they have some pretty good wrestlers, it's just going to automatically have like 3 or 4 million. Hell, like WWE is struggling to even like maintain 2 million. It just I think it's such a like different time in the business I'm at.
It's more, it's more. Well, AEW and NXT, and NXT is under the WB umbrella. And when people think wrestling, nobody thinks AEW. Everybody thinks WWE, and NXT is in the same boat of AEW. They get pretty much the same viewership total.
Into the company isn't even 2 years old yet. Like it's such a freaking young company. It's going to take some time for them to build up homegrown guys because to me there isn't that like say like Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, Undertaker, who are going to like bring in like 3, 4, or 5 million viewers. Just it like currently that person isn't in the business right now. It's those are just facts. So
I just feel like these
Mhm.
NXT and AEW more under like wrestling, like underground, like Fight Club, like it's a
Mhm.
niche audience right
Yep.
now,
Yep.
and both stick around 700, 800,000, um on even on unopposed nights,
Mhm.
uh and people like say NXT, at least maybe first 2 weeks they were on TV, maybe
They
even
got like
got
yeah,
1 million, but that's almost it's almost with any new TV show.
mhm.
Look, pretty much, I guess, let's say a sitcom. It starts
TV
out high,
yeah,
and then it plateaus. Everybody wants to
TV
see it, and people choose, I like it or not.
TV in like general is just it's not generating as much like a viewership now. It's just it has nothing to do. Well, it kind of does, but like it's just
Both things, yeah.
yeah, it's just a completely different landscape with TV. And like as Tony Khan and others have said, the thing that absolutely matters are those 18 to 49 demos. Yeah, it's like dumb that we're kind of like changing that actual narrative, but if like you are top 10 in that key demo there, that is what advertisers really care about.
You
you
get the
know
young people.
exactly. And two, as we saw from NXT, they were top 10 for which I believe that was,
The highest this year, definitely.
yeah, I believe the previous time that they were was back in December. So it just further proves like these shows need to be on separate nights. Hell, I enjoy coming on here like after seeing the shows live and not having to like watch over one of them afterwards. Like it's just
Or
it's
me watching both.
right. It's so counterproductive for both companies to be going head to head,
Yep.
um which I do absolutely believe either by like year end or somewhere in the spring mat, NXT is probably going on Tuesday nights. I just don't see them being on Wednesday nights too much longer, especially to if you are like USA and you see like they are getting at least 100,000 viewers more um from the from compared to them going up head to head with Dynamite.
Yeah,
It just makes way too much sense in my opinion there.
because they got just shy of 850,000 total
Right.
viewers,
Exactly.
up 3%, third best viewership of 2020, eighth all time, drew a 0.26 rating in the key demo, which was up from last week by zero point 0.02.
Mhm.
Uh, that was their best in 2020, and the best since December 18th, which drew a slightly higher rating at 0.27. And then they finished 60 in viewership total, number 10 in the cable top 150, and
Mhm.
that's the demo. And last week's comparatively was 24th in that cable top 150 in the rating and 83 in viewership.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that was good. Obviously, the hype with the main event, Fatal Four
Mhm.
Way. Interested to see what happens next week after that fallout. I still think it's maybe slightly down, but still do great
Yeah.
comparative. And we'll see what AEW does this week. Those should come out around 4 tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm expecting probably something similar to what NXT had yesterday around the 840 ish, 850 ish range there. Um, but they did run into some competition tonight with the NBA.
I think
Yeah, so
NXT wins again unopposed again.
Mhm. Mhm. I think it's squeeze somewhere. They win as far as like total viewers, but AW they will win for the 18
I
to 249 there. You know,
say like a 0.3. That's usually
Yeah,
consistent.
yeah.
Same comment here. Who do you think are real megastars in wrestling all over for whom you watch TV for?
Well, as far as as far as WWE right now, Keith Lee and like Roman Reigns right now are the two absolute top guys I have to see
I would add
every single week.
I would have to add Randy Orton to that, at least recently.
Right. And as far as AEW is concerned, um, MJF, FTR,
Yep.
like Moxley, I'm like Hangman, pretty much anyone in the elite, I will go out of my way to see now. But yeah,
for me, it's MJF, FTR, kind of Moxley. At least that pandemic didn't help him. And that kind of stops, at least for me, right there. Everybody else, I have to wait.
Before he got hurt, Karrion Cross as well. I was
Bray Wyatt. He has that story. This main character. I still want to see him though.
I kind of do, but at the same time, he has lost a lot of steam as well. Him losing against Goldberg, it really just derailed a lot of
quickly forgot about that.
Like that essentially killed that character there when that happened. In my opinion, there.
I think he's getting some stuff back. He's not completely dead.
Yeah, it's just I mean, that was probably one of the worst booking decisions, especially right before WrestleMania when you were going into
I didn't say it was great.
Into Wyatt versus Cena, and where that would have had Wyatt win over John Cena would have just done so much. It would have.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, they went the Firefly Funhouse, which was interesting, but during it. Pandemic.
It was fun, but Jesus Christ, was that man? That was
But what hurt comparatively, at least recently, was Strowman.
God, like it's just like he's like, man, like it's been a while since I've actually enjoyed Strowman, like probably since back in like late
2 years ago.
Yeah, like late 2018 when he was on fire, where he should have beaten Lesnar to win the title. That was the time. That was the time to pull the trigger on him, and they never did it. They were so gung ho in pushing Roman as a babyface, and to me, that was the time to like try that. But
Strowman said, I forget if it was in his chronicle and they previewed it, that Vince told him that either I forget exactly what he said, that he wasn't ready or something, and Strowman took that to heart. He was pissed. It was it was the 24, I think.
What do you say?
I don't know if he wasn't ready or he didn't. I think it was on the 24 for WrestleMania, this past WrestleMania, or something, because there was an interview they had Braun interviewing up like in the seats in some arena, leading up to it. And he was talking about, I think, because he was talking about Drew,
Right.
I think that was the same thing I was watching.
Mhm.
It was out there. He said it.
Mhm.
He can. I probably misquoted him. But yeah, and but back to that question. I think between WWE and AEW, I think those are the real big people we like,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
we
Yep.
or stars and the
Mhm.
company. Let's say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. All we had to cover, right? Nothing else
Yeah. No,
big.
yeah, there wasn't any really big news. I did hear some of the podcast comments of of what Renee Young said about like leaving WWE. Apparently she's like that said I'm becoming a like a female I'm like with Joe Rogan, which I mean, good luck for her in trying to pull that off there. Hopefully she does, because I mean clearly Renee has all of the talent in the world there to be really good. But um and um and yeah, but yeah, man, it should be a pretty fun weekend here. We will keep you up to date if we are going to be doing a like live stream for that show.
Uh,
Um,
Definitely, I think if not a live, definitely a recorded thing.
yeah, yeah, mhm,
Um, in my plans I have that day will work out. Probably, we'll see, and I'll,
mhm,
at least for me, make it work. Um, so yeah, we have that, and then as always, podcast, our general podcast at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and every Saturday. And I think we get back to a regular streaming schedule. No, we don't. NXT's on Tuesday, so another Tuesday, Wednesday live stream.
mhm. which
Um,
which I think it's for at least the next 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct. So yeah, it might
uh,
be for
I
the
don't
next
know. I lose
few weeks,
track.
which which I kind of feel this is definitely is going to be a test run for WWE, and like USA finding out, yeah, we should probably go on to Tuesdays too, you know. So
Well, so there you go. So with for John there, I'm Matt. Thank you everybody for watching tonight, and we'll see you in the next video.